Welcome to Strategy Saturday. I'm Charles Carillo, and today we're going to be discussing the importance of having a real estate website and email address at that website. Now, if you're an active real estate investor, it's imperative that you have a real estate website and an email address at that real estate website's domain. And if you're a passive investor, it really doesn't matter, since you're not trying to win deals, and usually the deal operator or general partners only care if you have the funds to invest. With us, we have a number of passive investors that have free email addresses that work with us. The reason for this episode was I was speaking to a real estate broker we work with, and he told me that he will not even respond to a free email address, Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, etc., for deals over 50 units, since he's never sold a property to one. He lowered this from 100 plus units in 2020 because of the sheer number of inquiries he was receiving, and he needed a way to sort it. So if the deals are under 50 units and it's coming from a free email address, he says he requests proof of funds from the beginning. And the reason for this is to sift through anybody that probably isn't serious. Now, the same broker mentioned that nearly all 100 plus unit deals involve buyers or sellers with a real estate website and email addresses at that domain. So if it was like Sun Valley Capital, it would be Market Sun Valley Capital. He also mentioned that 2/3 of sellers and buyers he worked with on complexes under 50 units had real estate websites and email addresses at that domain. Now, some people have a day job or another business, and they will use this email, but you're really limiting yourself, since your email address, and your website are usually the first impression people have of you. And if you're trying to buy an asset worth hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, how will a broker know you're serious if you will not invest a little bit of money in branding yourself and your company? Now, on the side note, if people don't know my story, I'm a full-time real estate investor, but also a partner in a payment processing company I started in college. And when I used to answer emails and respond to new inquiries, there were a few things up front I reviewed with a new inquiry that would allow me to gauge the seriousness of that potential client and how much time I would dedicate to them. That they had their own domain name for the business and not a free domain name. How professional was their website? Make sure there wasn't spelling errors or things that weren't working on it. The email intro and the closing email. Did they say hi or hello? And do they have an email signature, like with their information in there? And the body of the email, correct grammar and spelling mistakes. And these are like really simple things. But if you go through and someone has not spent the time to send you a correct email, or their business doesn't look professional and they want you to spend time with them, especially in a commission-based business, right? It's very important that you use a real estate email address, or you have a really professional introduction when you're contacting people that you want to work with. And this is all types of brokers, this is vendors, this is contractors, right? Now, in closing, if you're a serious real estate investor or you're planning on becoming one, even if you're just buying one deal, one single family house every 5 years, pay a couple $100s and set up an LLC for your company's brand, build a quick website and set up an email address there, and it will cost you just a few $100s and take a weekend to write the content and get it set up. You can also add to it in the future. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need like hundreds of pages in the beginning. You need a handful of pages, and it will start being taken more seriously when you're talking to everyone throughout the real estate community. Now, I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, submit comments and potential show topics at globalinvestorspodcast.com. Look forward to 2 more episodes next week. See you then.
Nothing in this episode should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Any investment opportunities mentioned on this podcast are limited to accredited investors. Any investments will only be made with proper disclosure, subscription documentation, and are subject to all applicable laws. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of Syndication Superstars, LLC exclusively.